Ladies and gentlemen,
Suck this nigga.
this is episode 13 of the pod.
Shout out Paul motherfucking George, nigga.
Oh my god.
The big 1-3. This is gonna be the best episode of the motherfucking podcast ever. Until we get to season 2, episode 13.
I wonder if he had that queued up but just wasn't gonna say nothing about it to us the entire time until he said, because you knew he would have left you out the room. He was about to shout out PG.
Nah, I just thought of that like on the spot. That's why I was like so much energy behind it. Like, oh yeah.
Pandemic P out this motherfucker.
Exactly. You already know, Paul. Actually, I'm gonna shout you out for that highway robbery that you just pulled off, nigga.
I wanna shout out your bitch, nigga, cause she got you fucked.
Joe bread up.
We
Nigga.
got, what is it, 229?
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga.
Fuck them like
How you like the stripper
Joe
money?
bread up.
I never count other man's pockets, but nigga.
I'm counting another nigga's pockets always.
Bro, the numbers don't add up to what you've been putting out there on the court. But maybe he'll make it worth it. I don't know. I can't speak to it. We'll see. I'm a Laker fan, so I hope that you fail.
We ain't gonna go deep into this, but this nigga last week on the pre-show was killing young niggas for getting 160 mil. But this nigga Paul George gets a $230 million contract and it's all
And
good.
then it's my guy.
My guy PG.
First of all,
Young niggas can't eat.
No. Young niggas can eat, but these young niggas eating and not doing shit. That's
But you got it.
Before y'all get into your sports bag, we got some shit to talk about today, fellas. We had a really, really good weekend. We got some good shit, some heat, some content coming on the side. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of fun. We was in New York this weekend, so it's been a long one, man. We recording again to end the weekend. No, fellas, we got some topics again, man.
Talk to me.
So, the first topic that I'm gonna discuss with y'all today is expectations of your significant other when y'all living together. When you make that first humongous leap of faith. Where it's 24/7, 365. It ain't where it's like, oh, I can stay the night over for a little bit and I won't see you again for like another 2
She
days.
pissed me off from going home.
Yeah, you can't do that no more,
You
dog.
all up in her face, nigga.
Yo, y'all in the same, hey, don't live in a 1-bedroom apartment or some shit. It's no escape, nigga. You like, I hate you. You gonna walk into the living room and
Have y'all done this before?
what's that? Moved in? Oh, hell yeah, I'm definitely done that.
Momentarily here and there, but I wasn't on a lease. I had my own place, but one of my exes, I stayed with her for months on end before.
Yeah.
So
So,
I've never done this.
Never done it?
This is all.
So we got the perfect full-time, median, and not at all.
that's
true.
true.
I think one
Perfect, exactly. So the first question on this one, fellas. When it comes to the mortgage and the rent, you know, that's the main staple of the bills. There's a shit ton of bills when you living together. You got your own individual bill as well, but the main staple is the rent and the mortgage. With that, because ladies tend to have different opinions with this, with that, do you feel as though the man should be obligated to pay all, if not most, of the mortgage or rent? You want to start off, B?
I can get that. It sounds generic, but it depends on the setup. Because I'm never mad at a woman that says, you know, I would prefer my man to take care of the mortgage / rent. You know, but if you're going to do that, lady, one, if I'm paying the mortgage rent, you need to be doing something. So that's like light, amenities, whatever. Because come on now.
Yeah.
So if I'm paying the mortgage or rent in full and you want that, that's fine. But also, if I'm doing that, so it's like now I'm the overarching provider of everything. You have to cut down on the bullshit that you bring my way too. And I don't think that's wrong to say.
It's not. It's just
But
funny
it's
hearing
like-
from you. You're right. No, you about.
Yeah, you goddamn right. So it's like when if I'm providing all the way, all that extra shit giving me attitude, just problems that you bring on my day to day, what you doing with it. Like if I say, yo, dinner need to be cooked, and I'm not even this kind of guy, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's an
If she ain't paying that, you ain't playing that.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
I like that,
This
man.
nigga stay with the quotables, nigga.
He be having them.
Oh,
I'm having it in my bag.
You got the clip.
So
If you ain't paying that,
I'm not
he
paying that.
ain't playing that.
But in all seriousness, if I'm paying the mortgage in full, or I'm paying the rent in full, if I say, yo, dinner cook, house clean when I come home, yo, that's like, it shouldn't, that we not about to sit here like that's some daunting task that just can't be done. And it don't even have to be on the spot when I come home, but it's like, when dinner's made, you will be cooking it, and you can clean the crib. If I'm paying for
That's some
everything,
real nigga shit.
but and I always
That's
say
not
that
crazy though. That's not like.
is it crazy?
Not at
It
all.
take an hour to cook dinner and maybe clean and sweep the house up a little bit. But because women are so stuck on like men trying to put them in gender roles, they'll act like they're saying the most wild shit when it's really not. Because okay, you want to be like, well, I pay all the mortgage, you cook and clean. Okay, bitch, I'll learn to cook, and I can't even cook, but I will be Emerald Lagasse in that motherfucker. So it's like,
I feel what you're saying, right.
So I don't have a problem either way.
It's the compromise.
I'm smart enough to know that cooking and cleaning is far much easier than paying the mortgage or rent in full.
100%.
But you can act like I'm being a mean asshole and putting you in a gender role. Go the fuck ahead, cause let's switch roles. I'll cook and clean. But
with ease, I have no problem.
With ease, but when I and that's just one part of it. But if it's like I can split, if you want to split, I had no problem doing that. Now, when I was living back and forth with my ex, I had my apartment with this nigga at the time anyway. So it's like I had my spot, she had hers, but she just wanted me to be with her. She just wanted me to, and I had no problem doing that.
This nigga was never at the crib. It'd be him and Sega be going. You see that picture of Will Smith at the end when he moving out of first time. I come home from work, I'll be like, man, nobody this bitch.
Sega's my dog, by the way. I got 2 dogs now. Sega, bro, shout out to y'all bitch ass niggas. But no, like I would take my dog. I would, take, obviously it's a couple clothes. It wouldn't even be overnight shit. It'd be like a couple weeks shit.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes, accessory, PlayStation, all that shit. Go up there, and I'd just be living up there. Mind you, I work in Wilmington, so I would leave Philly in the morning where my ex would stand, go to work, come back. It's not like I would go home. I would come straight back to her crib. We living together. We doing this.
You had the keys, and you had the key.
I had a key made, nigga.
As close as it get, for real, simple as that.
Damn, that's
you said the only thing that wasn't there was your name not being on.
And I wasn't tripping because it's like, kick me out, I got my own grade.
Right, exactly.
I would ask for my key.
Bro, so it's like when I was living up there, I didn't have a problem with that, and I like the idea of it because it showed me that I could live with a woman that I invested in and loved and put time into. It let me know that I could do that.
Right.
Because I never had those days of like, I want to be running. You might get annoyed, but it's like, I can't do this with this bitch. I didn't have those days.
You never had it. So,
but I'm kind of straying away, but it's like, I don't have a problem if she asked me to pay the rent. And I meant to say that to say I wasn't paying rent at her crib.
Yeah,
right. She needed something, I had her.
Yeah.
But it's like, I was not paying rent at her crib. I had my own shit to do with. But if she needed me, I had her. So it's like, it's just about what works for the couples. It works either way. I can pay all, but like I said, it's shit to come with that.
Mm-hmm.
I can pay, we can split, and me not paying shit ain't even an option. We not even
right.
do that. But no, that's where I stand.
So I'll go ahead and answer this question since I already asked it. The fuck, Jordan. So my answer with this specifically, honestly, I would agree with Brandon to the point of like it really does come down to a point of compromise,
right.
Where I don't really have much of an issue doing that. Like it wouldn't bother me if like she wanted me to pay all of it. Now, Brandon, I'm a firm believer in the idea of half and half. This is just my individual thing because what's best for other people, like you said, things can vary for the household. For me, half and half is always a great way to go because y'all all have this sense of the same responsibility within the household. It's not ever really a power dynamic when you are splitting everything 50-50. Mm-hmm. So I never really struggled with that much with my ex, my long-term ex. We lived together in an apartment when I was living in here, and then when we was living in Rhode Island, I had an apartment with her. And the thing about it, when I say compromise, is I can see both sides of the fence. Like, when we made that move to Rhode Island, she had shit set up, I didn't. So there was a point of lag for me trying to get things together when I was living in Rhode Island. But at that point, she was able to hold everything down. But when she was holding everything down, when I was getting my pieces together, lining up my paperwork, getting another job, or whatever have you, I was holding the household down. So like B was saying, cooking, cleaning, making sure shit was straight. If the car had issues, I'm taking care of the car, like all that type of stuff because I understood, all right, Jordan, you took a leap of faith by supporting her dream, moving out of state without having a plan while she had one. Right. You're going to have to take the back seat. And that's when we spoke on prior episodes, like knowing that your girl can steer the boat, that was her prime example to be able, I was like, she holding all the shit down, really.
Shining opportunity.
So that's why I knew I had a real one in that sense. So I was able to look at it like, okay, let me be real as to how I have to go about it. Now, as a man, that's the thing. I never really care about the gender role either, because I think that a lot of times women will try to put too much of a concern on that. Like, you trying to make me feel as though because I'm a woman, I gotta cook and clean. No, I could have gotten that bag even deeper on that pole. It's like, because I would have been like, I'm the man, now I gotta do that shit. Because men ain't typically doing that in the household. No. But who the fuck am I to do that while she taking care? Nigga, you better not say a goddamn thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I know in moments of life when to be submissive to my woman and when not. It's the way that it works. You have to understand that. So with me, I do think that it should be 50-50. People will argue on that. Certain women will argue on that. But it's like, look, if it's not going to be 50-50, if it's going to be 75-25 or whatever you want to do, 80-20, understand that there has to be something that you make up with that part and that portion that you've fallen off on. And if you can do that, we can work it
Let me
out.
add to that. It's like, I'll say this. If it's an apartment, it really should be 50-50. But the house, we can lean on the more so the size of we paying off. But even more to that, let's just be honest. It should matter who makes, like, if it's a vast difference of who makes more. If I'm making 40K and my broad making 95K,
Let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic here. It will probably make more sense for you to pay the bulk of the mortgage. It just, am I gonna go into the red because we're gonna play a gender role here, or we're gonna do what makes sense so we can both set ourselves up for success? How about you pay the bulk of the mortgage, but I still make sure the amenities are done, and I make sure the car insurance and all that shit is on top tier.
Right.
Let's just make sense about it. But if we both making around the same shit, let's, regular shit.
Right.
But if I'm making 80K and my girl making 35, I should hold it down for the most part. So it's just like, let's just keep it real and make sense.
This shit just reminded me of something one of my OGs said. OG Al, you know what I'm talking about. I got respect for you, boy. But that nigga, one day, he was talking to me about how he had a good time at OC with a joint. They went out like a one-day trip to OC. And he said it in the most fly way to try to play it off like it ain't mean nothing. But you can tell for that date she was spending the bulk of the bread. He got bread, but I guess she just kind of presented it like I'll spend it. Right. So they did all kinds of shit. They went on the boardwalk, did a little ride just like that, and then he was talking about windsailing, which I think windsailing is like one of the more expensive like things to do on the beach and all of that. And he was like, yeah, he's like, she wasn't even tripping. Like, I made sure we split shit. He was like, she paid for the windsailing, and then we was on the boardwalk. I paid for the vinegar fries. I was like, nigga, what?
Nigga, the vinegar fries is $7.65, nigga. How much
windsailing is 76.50, nigga. Like, she spent $700 more than you. Was crazy, bro. I'll never forget that because the whole kitchen stopped. Like, wait, what did you just say?
We split it. That's you ever see motherfucking Raw by Eddie Murphy, nigga, his old stand up?
Nah,
he was, long story short, he basically saying like he was a millionaire at the time, he still is, but it's like chicks that date him be like, yeah, with your man, I'm gonna just get a little job and put this in with the rest. So it's our money because I'm contributing, let me just put this in with the rest. No, bitch.
No, you ain't doing that.
No.
Trying to be slick and shit.
That's not equal.
I seen something on it was online. It was twins, and it was the Morris twins.
Oh,
like
Morris.
Yeah, like they lived together. Something like they lived together. It was like one just signed a deal for like 64 M's.
And the
other one got like 2.
But they got joint bank accounts.
But it's like, yeah, that's what it is. Like they got a joint bank account, and it's like. I wonder how the
nigga, we got 60.
I wonder how the conversation go. Like, nigga, like, yeah, bro, I'm finna go buy this new Bugatti. Nigga, that shit better not be over $2 million, nigga. Bro, you would be like, nah, bro, you
really saw love. But them niggas, bro, that's how I know the love between
one is bro better than the other, though. Like,
yeah,
it's not like, what?
They movies that they the same dude. Like they got love. They
I remember watching them on the news. They was interviewing their mom. They was like, they would go take tests for each other and shit. One was better in English, one was better in math. They was flip flop.
Like that was from Yay, like Yayo, nigga.
Yeah.
But get your opinion on that, Mike. How you feel about that?
From my opinion, first of all, it's where I'm at right now. I'm not even asking him to stay with me at all, man. I don't even got a crib. He's like, yeah, shit. I'll sleep.
How you would approach it?
I just bullshit, but me personally, I would handle it like kind of like B said. I'll take care of the rent, the mortgage, as long as you taking care of the utilities, keeping the crib, whatever it need to be. I like just from how I was brought up. My pops, he always was in charge of. I'm gonna be the man of the crib.
Right.
I'm gonna pay this, but I'm gonna see mom do. She gonna cook. She gonna clean.
And that don't mean I can't help out and sweep up. We're not saying that.
Just come over from work, he go to sleep.
Right.
Papa back, you feel me?
Fuck out some pasta.
But
yo, babe, you got something
I
to do.
see my mom cleaning more than I see my pop, and I see my pop writing a checkbook.
Okay.
A lot more than I see my mom. Now it'd be like a little small bill, like the lights. My mom will grab that real quick, easy for whatever.
Yeah.
So that is how when I get to that point in my life, I'm gonna handle it like just how what I was growing up seeing. So I would tell you like, yeah, I'm gonna be in charge of rent, mortgage, whatever it is, and you just help where you can with the utilities, whatever it is, and we just keep it like that.
Right.
I'm definitely more agreeing with me. I don't have nothing wrong with the 50-50 split.
Okay.
And if my wife or my girl come with that idea, I'm not like, no, this is what I would learn. I can always compromise. Because again, paying more than paying 50, you a fool to say no.
Cause I know some girls, not that I've dealt with, but I've talked to, and they be like, just even on like a dating aspect, I knew chicks that, well, bitch. But chicks that'd be like, they're adamant about, you paid last time, I need to pay this time. Like,
oh yeah, that's some wild.
I've dealt with bitches like that. Not a lot. Mm-hmm. But I know that carries over into their, how they would handle a household. It's like, no, we need to split 50-50.
Right.
I don't care if I make more than you. Like,
and that's where you lose me.
And it was funny because when I my last year of school in Texas, I had a little apartment, and it'd be Johnson out, and the John deal was like, yeah, well, I was here a couple weekends, like I give you some money for your rent this month, and I was like,
Shorty hit you with that?
yeah. And it was funny because in my head it was just like, yeah, you just a slider, you not even something I take serious.
It's not even that type of
please tell me you took the money.
What? What you think?
I was just making sure.
The way he responded, I
was like, hell yeah, you know, you the only one.
I didn't know if he was going to do this.
I will say this. There might have been a part of her that knew that she wasn't in that tier with you yet, and she wanted to do something like that to probably stand out.
I was like, yeah, thanks. And then it was like, no, the first hit, I'm like, appreciate you. The second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. I ain't even talk to you. Just like a tenth, like, what's good, mom? But that's what it was in the beginning. So it's like, I think she was using like, yeah, maybe he gonna take me a little bit more serious.
No, man.
I do low key. I mean, I don't know how you felt about Shorty. Obviously, not strong enough for her to still be in the picture. But I give you credit. Whoever you are, Shorty.
Nah, I was about to say, I can't. It did kind of make me like, oh damn.
Yeah, it's not cool.
I would never.
You're not gonna move, but like I say, you're not moving off that tier, but that's cool.
The shoe on the other foot, y'all doing that. It's like you familiar going up to a bro house a lot. And she's like, it's kind of here a lot. Can you? No.
Hell.
That is the last thing. Yeah,
I'm checking out.
Yeah, you remember the big boys that had a picture with
the nostalgia.
I'm out of that joint. But yeah, I mean, I kind of think like I said, we all kind of responded in a way where there has to just be that point of compromise. As long as you have a point of understanding, there's communication, because communication is fucking key. Communication is almost important and vital as accountability. They kind of sway the same as almost.
They like both at the top. Like if it was like the top tiers,
them two, they right there.
They up top.
So it's like you gotta have that. You gotta be able to maneuver between the communication and accountability, understanding your point. I do actually like what you brought up with that too, B, where it's like, because it might be in certain households. I mean, you're getting their chicken now too, class up to you. So it's like it might be a household where the woman's making 80K and the fella's making 50.
A lot of households like that.
If a woman understands and respects it, which I can't really say that I know much households of it, but like I know a lot of it occurs and exists. But it's just like, I wonder how a female handles that dynamic when she's making more money. Say the man, in this instance, and this is kind of a good way to kind of maneuver off, like, say the man is making that 50K, she making 80, but he's perfectly fine with his woman being a breadwinner. I would love, damn, I wish we had a female on the show right now, but like, I would love to know how a female would then respond to that. Do you respect it? Or is it like, I really don't respect this.
Every argument come up is like, yeah, you bum ass nigga.
Yeah. My only thing about that is like, it's just, you gotta be comfortable where you are as a man. And like I've said on this podcast before, I can't speak for everybody, but monetary shit is not tied into my manhood. Material shit is not tied into my manhood. So a bitch can never hurt me by chastising my pockets. Mm-hmm. So if I'm making 50K, fuck that. If I'm making 30K because I work at motherfucking Walmart, and then you work at motherfucking JP Morgan pulling in 90 close to 100, but you fuck with me. We have a dynamic. We love each other. If you feel the need to try to degrade me through money, I already kind of know you really not going. You're trying to degrade. It's not going to hurt me, but you're trying to degrade me through my lack of monetary value right now. Now, again, I've been in slumps before. I've never lied on a bitch for shit, but I've been in slumps before, and it's like you can't look at it like you're less of a man because you're not where the next person is. You're not where
we was talking about. I think we was talking about this last episode. Like, you just gotta be comfortable with yourself.
You gotta be comfortable with yourself, bro.
If you like, damn, I ain't got no money. I'm a bum ass nigga. Like,
no, you're not.
You just
that's momentary, bro. That's in the moment right there. That's as long as you got some shit about yourself.
As long as you working to get yourself out of yourself. Now don't talk yourself into that. And you like, I'm just gonna be homeless. Then you a bum ass nigga.
Oh yeah,
you right. But
Kisa.
But it's a lot of niggas that whatever situation you're in right now, as long as you working to get out of it, you still a man.
I agree. So moving to the next part, because it's kind of like 1A, 1B with this specific question, because we spoke to the mortgage. That part of the question was mortgage and rent. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about, because in my household with my ex when I was living with her, we had an even kill split with like everything, all the bills. Like not like you said, like the amenities, the lights, the water, whatever may come with the apartment. A lot of apartments come with the water on that shit, but you know it's other shit outside.
No amenities over this motherfucker
At all. So it's like, how do you feel about? Do you feel as though that should be fair too? Like that's not something that you would be against 50-50 or everything?
Yeah, like I said, I'm honestly, it really how I'm gonna handle it personally is we're gonna have that conversation.
Okay.
To like, I'm not gonna go in there with a mindset of like it need to be this or it need to be this. It's gonna be let's look at our finances, look at what we making, all of that, personals aside, and then let's just see what's best for us.
Right.
I feel like and it's like easy just to say that like yeah I'm just get that answer. But I feel like if you're gonna communicate, if you're gonna be with like the person you're gonna be with, you need to be able to have that dynamic because you don't want that situation to come up where you got a situation and then an argument come on and it's like, well that's why you ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
So as long as you had that talk, now again, like I said, I will say, me being a man, I am how I was just raised, what I seen. I am coming with the mindset of I'm trying to think how I would say this. I am gonna go with the mindset of I'm paying this more because I'm a man.
Yeah,
I'm
out
gonna provide.
Yeah.
But if I'm like I'm gonna provide and she's like, nah, it's cool, I can help, I'm not gonna be like, no.
Exactly. You see how you extend yourself past expectation just so you can prepare yourself for it. Yeah, and it's a plus if she meets up with you.
It's a plus if she meets up. Now if she cool with my bag, it's cool. We can go how I was raised, we just everything gonna fall in place. So that's where I stand on it.
Okay. What you think would be 50-50 split on all that shit?
I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. If she wants to propose 50-50 down on everything, and shit, I'm not saying I wouldn't propose it.
Right.
So if it's 50-50 split, shit, that's perfectly fine with me. I would always keep in the back of my head, if I make significantly more, I would feel more inclined to pay more.
Yeah. I do agree with you from that standpoint.
But whatever, if you want to do 50 and you're gonna try to beat my head in about it, alright, let's do 50. But I don't think anyone would be like, no, don't pay a little bit more.
He said, no, that is true. You ain't never gonna hear that.
Yeah, ain't gonna hear that. So it's like, the funny thing is we having this conversation, but you see how Mike said, I don't have a problem just, sticking to the stereotype of a man in the gender role and be paid more. But a bitch be like, why you asking me to come?
That's the thing, but like I said, that's
why I gotta be the girl?
Wait, I gotta be the man. I thought you were talking about his voice. He didn't do a female voice, but it was funny when he went on your voice. Like the voice that you just gave Mike. You sound like George Jefferson on this one.
No, I'm just saying general.
I know you're doing man shit. Yeah.
But it's just like I don't understand that shit.
I don't get that either, and I just think that that's the point of compromise. That a lot of relationships, if we speaking directly to this dynamic, I can see a lot of shit failing solely from this. Y'all never had an understanding and really a respect from the get-go where it was like, yo, this is the compromise that we're gonna have. Right. And that's why I say the compromise. Like you said, I appreciate that answer that you gave because the conversation it's essential. Have a lot of this shit up front. You feel what I'm saying?
Like that's something we a lot of the things that we talk about it can easily be solved with just having this conversation up front. The mistakes that people have is they just start going there like, oh yeah, my way gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And then everything be fine for 1 month, 2 months.
But then when it's time for the action to start playing part,
something to add up, or something doesn't add up, it's like, well, I thought I was supposed to. Well, no. What?
They are all lost in the sauce.
Exactly. You 4 or 5 months in, you done told her you loved her, you done did all this, but you ain't seen her at the point where y'all not agreeing. Now the first time y'all don't agree, y'all 5 months in, she talking about you should pay, you ain't got it, and now she leaving.
Exactly. It's something that you could have avoided from rip. You might not even, if y'all had a conversation and you seen how stout both of y'all were and y'all opposed each other, y'all might not even decide to move in together and do that type of shit. So for me, because I have been in this situation actually twice, I will say like, it's all about, y'all, it's all about the swing of compromise and understanding that one might be up at certain points in times and the other might be up at certain points in times. Now, if I had to answer this directly, going into it, say we making even amounts of money, if I might make a little more, she might make a little more. I do think in that scenario, 50-50 is just the way to go. That's what I always did, that's what we always did. I'm trying to think like, with the bills on certain stuff, sometimes we might have just took care of something. It all depends
Like
on
if she
what
did
was going on.
the internet, like
Yeah, we might have did that. Sometimes we ain't want like we ain't gonna have like a $70 bill like 35. Like it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
So I will say it did vary a bit, but we always try to make sure that one wasn't like spending an outrageous amount of money more than that other one.
Yeah.
We never really got to that point because I just think that balance means so much because it doesn't create a weird dynamic in a household of a power shift. Because let's be real, we may never want to speak to it, but if you know you holding things down in a certain way more than the other person, depending on your ego and your personality, you might feed off of that shit. So like Mike said, an argument ensues and y'all start arguing. I wouldn't pull it out of my bag,
Right.
but it might slip out with certain people.
My
you know what I'm saying?
thing about that is, I think it's more in a woman's nature to let that ego get into her head because that's a uncharted territory for a woman to feel like she's supposed to be a provider. Because as men, as little boys, we taught protect and provide growing up. So it's like, all right, even though it's gonna get to a point where I do this for the first time, it's not shocking to me because I've been raised and groomed to do this. A girl is just like nobody's told you to protect them for the prize.
That's
so it's
true.
like you go to college and you get your career and now you making 80, 90K, now you dealing with a nigga, now you get a spots, now you provide. So it's like, oh my God, I got all these new, like in fucking Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibilities, bitch. You got these superpowers now. You don't know how to fucking use them properly. You just out here wilding because you provide for the first time.
Right. So every
nigga, but hold on. It's like you get you're a provider now, and because your nigga might not be making what you want him to make, or he might not be able to meet the standard of bills that you want or even need to, it might get times where you're frustrated, you might even lash out like, well damn, if you just made more.
Yeah.
A nigga's not really gonna do that. A man's not really gonna do that.
True.
Because it's in our nature to provide. So it's like if she's not picking up the slack, it's like, well, I'm supposed to do this anyway.
But that could potentially occur though. Like, say you come to the crib after a hard day of work and there's dirty dishes all over the place.
I'm about to say that's where, as a man, not gonna ever say to a female, you need to make more, but a guy can't try to get this dominant bag. Like, nigga, I'll pay. Like, listen to what I say, bitch.
That's a fact.
I mean, it is, but it's a thin line of like, all right, you speaking facts, and now you just a controlling ass nigga.
Yeah, but he was saying, when he said it's a fact, he's saying like, because I know you know that's, you would say that's extremely controlling. Yeah. And it's wrong, but it's a fact that men would possibly do that. Yeah. It's like a subconscious thing. It's kind of like, because I know I had that, and that's why I say the 50-50 idea, in my personal opinion, from what I went through, it just always spelled the idea of any power dynamic. And to be real with you, when I first moved in, when she was out and I came in late and I was scrambling trying to get shit together, I didn't even really like that I was there. So I was trying to work hard to get myself past that point, which I did obviously, but it's just like, that's the thing. Y'all should be motivating each other in the same way. Never look down on one another if one's down and one's up. Because we had moments like that swayed all across our relationship. So that type of shit says the most about you. When you under that pressure and that duress, like that's going to let you know who you are.
Niggas think motivating is calling their bitch a queen.
Huh?
Niggas think motivating their bro is calling them a queen.
It run a little further than that, fella. Just a little bit more. You gotta get a little bit more.
Chicks do the same thing with it.
That's true.
Come on, King. Bitch, they helping me.
I love something with it.
A pep talk. I said, what? Keep going.
Word out.
Like teaching, back in the day, teaching you like, everyone give yourself a pat on the back. What the fuck does that do?
For real. That's why I was
So John got a D.
That's why I was.
What the fuck is pat on the back?
Nigga, you want to do no packs. But like, that's why when it comes to like what's going on in my life, whether it's up and down, left, right, it don't fucking matter. With me personally, I don't like to really give out and divulge too much information, even those that are really, really close to me and that I love, because I know that I'm gonna receive advice, but a lot of times, and I think I said this on one of the prior episodes, always understand that advice you're gonna get is gonna be something that they just feel and think in that moment. They don't really know what you feel.
They're not putting real thought to that. It's like response.
So if it's something that I don't need to hear and I hear it, that can maybe sway how I feel about myself. Why the fuck am I even gonna put myself in that position? If I know what I need to be doing and what I need to do and how I'm gonna get there, hearing something else that can eat at that kind of mindset is not going to be good for me. So you don't know my shit, you know what's actually going on. So get into the next question with this one, fellas. Do you feel as though this can sway 50-50, maybe not as much as that, but like, do you feel as though sex, intimacy times with your significant other, should it be heightened once y'all make that move in? Were y'all 24/7, 365? Should it be something that should be occurring more? Or do you feel as though that should not be a thing that's at least expected?
I mean, my sex, I'm a sex nigga.
I'm a sex nigga.
You feel me? I'm a
sex nigga.
So, so to answer that question, like, I don't think it would
it's
be
like
like
saying I'm a breathing nigga.
No, because this is why though. if I don't look at my shawty every day, the times we see each other, we having sex.
I don't know if Mike remember when we was young boys, we was talking about sex. I remember one time Mike was like, I'm about to have the sex. When we was kids. I swear to God.
I was a wild youngin', boy. I don't remember, but I don't put it past me.
I had to say that.
I don't put it past me at all. But I don't think it should be like, now that we live together, we should fuck more. You should just be having sex as much as you was any other time. Now I feel like you'll have the opportunity more just because you see the person every day now, instead of like, shit, what you doing? I'm at the crib. I'm gonna pull up.
It's not like that.
That dynamic is gone, but I don't really think it should be like, yeah, now we did.
Niggas be thinking like she gonna be sitting on the couch reading a book, you gonna pull up on her like, yeah, what's happening?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't like it should just be like regular, like we want to have sex situations. Just as it would be if she was just coming over or chilling with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's how I view it. I wouldn't see it like, well, shit, since we living together now, you over there making that breakfast. Let's have that sex now. like B said, it's not like.
You might get in that bag.
You Wesley Pipes all of a sudden.
Word all of a sudden, you a whole porn
What
star.
you do with that dick?
Right.
And the glow you talking to him.
Stand on with his head with Tim's and shit. Look at you struggling with the dick.
Stupid. But go ahead, nigga. What's your opinion?
I think it's to me it's more like what Mike says. Like when you moving in, of course, like most of us are moving in when we're in our mid-20s and late 20s when you're doing it. It's not like you emancipated at 17 and you and you're 17 or you were 18 or 19 you dealing with a bitch like, we fucking all the time, just cause, sex time. No. When you like mid-20s or whatever, it's just like, it's just the convenience of when y'all do it. So it's like, alright, y'all both done what y'all doing, y'all chilling, y'all might get intimate, and then sex might pop up. Y'all might do a fair word, y'all might do it when y'all get back from work or winding down for the night. It's regular shit. You'll have the convenience to do it more because y'all live together.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like, alright, come see you tonight, and obviously I'm up there probably gonna fuck. But it's also times if y'all not living together where you just come over there because you actually like that person, y'all don't fuck. And it's just a good time spent, but because we live together, days y'all don't fuck. So it's like,
that's true.
I don't think it's just like super sex time because we live together. I don't think it's that. I think it's just because of the convenience of us living together that's gonna occur more often. But it's not like it has to be a driving force. Of what's happening.
You're not doing the we gonna date our sex time 9:30.
Shit, I wish I would.
I ain't never doing that.
10:45. You know what was her name?
Tamaris.
Tia Tamaris.
I think it was Tamaris.
It's Tia.
Not doing that
Tia's the
bad.
sexy one. It hurt me because Tia said that dumbass shit.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that bitch.
They twins.
Oh my god.
I don't know one of them.
Because it looks slightly different. Nigga.
Yo, this nigga Mimi said the funniest and shit.
I know y'all twins, but you ugly, bitch.
Tia's the bad one. Ask anybody who's the better one.
But that don't mean Tamara duckish.
I think Tamara's a duck.
Yo, they look the same.
You know.
It's just identical. It's just one got like a mold to the left.
No, it's not the mole. It's not the mole. It's the structure of her face long around Tamara duck.
But
I always know.
Get into my answer. This nigga crazy. Get into my answer. I feel as though heightened is like kind of a funny word because I do think when y'all first make that move, you'd be surprised when you first make that move and it's like, you know, for sure thing, we about to be here for 12 months. Like, yeah, it does occur a little bit more because, and I think it's also just because more so because of the fact that y'all in the same vicinity. Like, all right, I'm close to you, close to me, let's just have sex. Y'all are all the time.
Right.
Whereas before, when you sliding over, she sliding over, I don't know, y'all might do that 3-4 times a week, maybe if you lucky. Work might get in the way, so it's not as convenient for y'all.
Yeah.
Now it's 24/7, 365, so it's extremely convenient. What I will say is though, I do think once y'all moving together, sex should be something that, if it's not already a priority, well, I would hope that it was before y'all even got to that point, but if not, you definitely want to make it higher on a priority list. Move it up a bit because it is important to keep that intimacy going. Now, I'm not counting the amount of times you have sex in a week, but I would say be active. Don't be inactive. Because when you're inactive with the idea of sex and intimacy in general, it only gotta simply be sex, but just intimate shit, cuddling up, watching movies. Like, one thing that I was actually reading an article online the other day, and it's true, it was like, when you living with your joint for like 10-15 seconds a day, like she might be in the kitchen or in the bathroom, like fixing her hair and makeup or some shit, or like cooking in the kitchen, like walk up behind her and just hold her, like put your arms around her waist and just get close behind her, and just do that every day for like at least 15-20 seconds. Because it's something about it's like a lot of people you get. It's almost like when you move in with each other. I say this. Listen though.
It was just funny. The nigga be famous.
See, but
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Take it from the nigga that was living.
I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying. You gotta take it from the nigga that was doing this.
I'm not knocking what you say. I'm just finding some certain things.
Okay.
Comical.
So you know what I'm saying. So with this specifically, the reason why I said it is because everything is going to feel extremely robotic to a point where y'all always around each other. You might not even feel like you really living with somebody. You know that she's there with you, but you take the idea of intimacy and living close and like being close in that way together. You take it away from the picture. Right. So y'all may not be doing as much cuddling. Y'all might go to bed and just want to go to fucking sleep because you gotta work early in the morning.
That's a fact.
Don't use the idea like, well, shit, I'm around. I can just fuck with her the next day. As the reason as to why you lag back a little bit, right. Because that day she might really be wanting it, but she might not be expressing it. It's a love language thing.
Real nigga shit. I'm gonna do that shit regardless. Cause no bullshit. And you probably gonna laugh. I like smelling my bitch hair.
I love that
I'll
shit.
be like,
I love that, bro. This nigga, we weirdos.
Yeah, hey, nigga.
That's some old nigga shit.
Nigga, I like smelling my bitch hair.
You would like to do that when you turn like 27.
The bitches I deal with, their hair don't be stinking. Even if they had weave, their hair do not stink, so I can do that and like that. A lot of y'all niggas deal with bitches who hair smell like a fucking barnyard. So like, I understand why that might not be your
They
niggas'
watching
bag.
a football game on Sunday, they like,
Yes, nigga.
Hell yeah.
Come here, let me show you one time.
The young nigga don't know. What you know about that young player?
shit about that.
Exactly, nigga. What you know about that Teddy Pendergrass? I'm sorry, like one of them niggas right there.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though, I do feel as though, to a degree, sex should be heightened. I learned over time how important it was to stay active. Because there was moments in those relationships, it wasn't just my long-term ex, it was the one prior to that too. Like, we wasn't as active, and then you could really, after a certain amount of time, you could feel that inactivity. Like, you was like, damn, like, we don't really have sex at all. Like, we're not really getting into that bad. We're not being as intimate as we should. Because it might be like, now you allowing the idea of y'all having arguments, if shit is occurring. Now that's eating into the idea of intimacy. So now, you basically doubled up on the trouble. It's like, I'm closer to her, I don't have as much of a reason to be as intimate with her. Now we arguing too. So now I'm furthering myself even more. I'm distancing myself even more.
Right.
I'm telling you, bro, you do not want to do that because you learn your lesson in the long run. It's just like, let's keep that shit intimate. Continue doing things with her, you know what I'm saying? I like to have sex regardless, so I'm down.
Oh, you a sex nigga?
You sex nigga?
I'm a sex nigga. I like to have the sex. So, that's my bag, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that it's extremely important to stay active. Like I said, don't count down the times you have to say. I ain't saying you gotta have it 7 days a week. That's a little bit much. Sometimes I be tired as fuck when I come home late from work or whatever I'm doing. If I got a long day, I may not want a late pipe. But that's the understanding that y'all gotta have. Don't do that for 4 days in a fucking row, 5 days in a row, and then you might lose your shorty.
Right.
Then, if somebody sliding her DM, giving her attention, you gonna hate it, right? You gonna be upset, you gonna be mad. Okay, nigga, look yourself in the mirror. Is there anything that you could be doing?
Right.
But if she bites on attention, that's still a problem.
Oh, of course, but you never want, my whole thing is you never want her to bite on attention, but you have to understand, as long as you can be accountable in those scenarios and be like, all right, well, it is something I'm lacking as a man,
of course.
And I'm not bringing that to the table and it's making it troublesome for her, I gotta change it. I gotta change my approach with that.
Right.
So, speaking about that, because this kind of sways into the next question here, what do y'all feel about, like, the idea of continuing to chase your female? Not chase, but you throw that word out. Mike,
This nigga like, what? I never said the bitch!
Mike about to jump out the motherfucker.
You said I was.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, you know how, put it like this. I don't know if you ever heard this, but they say, like, we ain't gonna do that happy wife, happy life shit. Please don't equate what I'm saying to that, because I am not saying this. But, what I'm saying is, like, you know how when they say, like, after a certain amount of time, say you've been with your chick for 2 years, a lot of people say, as a man, you should always take the approach as if you're still trying to get her.
Oh, yeah.
So when y'all live together, like I said, it's easy to kind of lure yourself into that midpoint where, like, nothing's occurring. Do you feel as though no matter what you do in that scenario, even when y'all moving together, like, still pursuing her in that light
You
is
should
correct?
still have that bag, for sure. And like I said, I've always, like, I seen my pops, he bring the flower bag every once in a while, just on a random tip, send it to her job. So that's something I'm going to do. Again, now, that's a situation I don't see as, like, chasing. Because we already together. So the things that I'm doing for you is because I want to do them. Like, I want you to be happy. I want you to send the flowers on a Tuesday.
Right.
Just cause, like, you should, like you said, you should never be like, I ain't doing that because she mine already. We good.
You should, but see, the thing about it is, bro, it's a subconscious thing. You should never do that, but it's so easy to do it that a lot of times niggas don't even be realizing that they doing it.
Right.
And then when they get caught out on it, it's almost like damn, it's a moment to come to the light where it's like, shit, I have. But you still don't even want to admit it because at that point,
that's where niggas gonna be accountable, dog. Niggas will be like, what you mean, dog?
You ain't got her flowers all month, nigga. You didn't, you bum ass nigga, get your bread up.
Damn.
What you feeling like, B? What you think about
No,
that?
of course, I'm with that on the way. Like, now I'm a joke with any joint that I'm with, like, fuck you mean, I already got you now. Like, I say shit like that. I say it right back in my jaw, jokingly. But, like, of course, you always want to make your girl feel like she want it. You always want to, like, still pursue actively. Not, like, pursue like you trying to bag her, but it's, like, pursuing in the regard that she feels love, that she gets attention from you, that she knows that you're still, like, you still lust after her and all that shit, to keep the shit fresh, because you don't want this shit to be stagnant. You don't want it to fall on, you know.
You really love me?
You don't want to have to hear them.
Now what are we?
Bitch, if we living together, I
You
wish
should
you
know.
would.
Word, don't even bring that question to my face.
Get your corn muffin head ass.
I'm gonna throw you and that question out the goddamn door.
So it's like, no, I'm with y'all all the way. Continue to make your relationship fresh with your girl because you just don't want it to be stale.
Now, I will say this, because I do the whole panel was going to agree with that. I feel as though it's important. Now, I'm not trying to do that tit for tat shit, ladies. This is not what I'm about to get into. But please understand, because it's always easy to talk about what the man should be doing. It's the easiest fucking thing in the world. It does not take an extreme level of difficulty to speak to that.
Appreciated too.
If you can show that in return, and like I said, even we spoke about this on the first date shit. When I be talking about, I love when the female pay for the first date. You ain't gotta do it all the time. It could literally be 90-10.
Bro.
But say that 10% is the first time
It's a great impression. I promise you, if we go on a first date and you pay, and you're adamant about paying, and you pay, I can pay for every date the other tenure that we're going through this dynamic. But the fact that you made that great impression leaves a lasting one. I know when a broad did that with me, I went home and I told this nigga about it, and he was just befuddled, but like we both came to the conclusion that it's a quality broad. Now it never really went nowhere. Probably more so on my fault.
It's a problem, but
I was a young nigga. I was a super young nigga, dog.
But see, that's very let it be known. I really love this, but please understand this is not a promise that you're gonna stay around, because if you do something like
it was just like it. I was not taking her seriously. I don't think she was taking me seriously. She was older than me by like 4 years. Like, so we went on a date, and then I think I said this on the podcast. Like, when the bill came, of course, my hands already going in my pocket. That shit. She was like, "No, you here with me."
Right.
Like, come on, I can get you, but chill. Let's just no.
You better me out.
Alright. Right, but I'm trying to.
2 more.
I'm trying to go off the like be the gentleman shit, but I just let her have it, and it's like she was like, "You and me, blah blah." And then the date was amazing. I was just like, yo, nobody's ever done that for me. I was probably like 22. She was like 26.
And that's why you felt the need, you came back to talk to me about it, because it's something that's fresh on your mind. Like, bro, I never see that. It's a strong rarity for me to ever come across that. Right. And whenever I have it occur, first thing I'm doing, I come home like, guess what happened, man? Guess what happened, nigga? Like, yo, I'm so excited. Bro, it's the littlest of dumbest of shit. I don't know if I ever said this.
You feeling appreciated as hell?
I remember one time I went, this was a while ago. This is when I was dating the June. We talked about with the whole, she had the nigga that she used to deal with in New York, but she was fucking with me. She lived in Jersey. Here we go. I was not Dirty Mackin. On our first date, we did a little picnic vibe, and she lived in Jersey. So you know when you going into, I think when you going into Jersey, when you going out, you get a little vibe out. Yeah, out. You paying the $5 toll. So I went there to a little park, and I was talking to her about it, and we was wrapping up the date. I'm grabbing everything that we had, going in my car, and I opened the door, and she's like, hold on, don't get in yet. Like, don't lock your door. I was like, okay. Like, I thought she was about to come over and talk to me more. And she ran into her car and, like, got something out of her glove department. It was a $5 bill. And she, like, ran over to my car real quick and threw it in there.
Bring your shit, nigga.
she threw the $5 bill in there real quick and, like, ran back to the car, like, laughing. And then, like, I was like, I got in the car, like, I was like so excited, like, but that's what I'm saying. It don't take much. It's the thought that counted the most, bro.
Bitches be wanting a grandiose performance for them, and we'll give it to you, but it really don't take much for us.
Right.
You can just do the littlest and shit. Like,
I feel like a kid at a Christmas tree when that shit happened. Bro. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But get into this shit. What the fuck was my question? What was that name? Pursue shit? Yeah. So, pursuing your lady is extremely important. All I say is, I agree with my fellas here, but all I'm saying is, ladies, please show that.
Of course, we're gonna be reciprocated.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for too much. Understand that the importance of it, like I said, it don't always have to be 50-50, but understand that there is an important factor there that you gotta play your part as well as I play mine. And we can continue to flourish when you do that shit. So, getting into this next question, fellas, with this one here, because this is really tough. like I said, especially if you live in a lot of scenarios when you moving in with your chicken, it's just y'all two. There's no kid in the picture because I don't deal with kids, so they won't be in the picture. But
y'all gonna see some shit coming soon.
it's so. It's so. So y'all got like it's 2 y'all, 1 bedroom apartment. How do you establish alone time for yourself? How do y'all go about that? What do you the importance of it? The ways around it? How should you do it? Like how do you feel about
When
that?
you hear the PlayStation beat, bitch, boop, leave me alone. You know what the fuck going on.
When I put the headset in, and see, for me, my alone time, you can still be around.
Okay.
Like, if I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play the game, it's not like, get the fuck out of the room.
So you don't want isolation at no point in time.
So this is what I'm a nigga like. I'm always good.
Well, first of all, you're a sex nigga. First of all.
But I'm always good. Like I can be in a group, like I can be in an area and still be able to have my alone time.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, yeah, I'm finna play the game, and she like, all right, well, I'm gonna just sit on the bed and read a book. To me, that'd be my alone time. We just enjoy each other's company. We in the same area, but I'm playing my game.
Yeah, you doing your own thing.
I'm doing my own thing. She's doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be our alone time.
Right.
You enjoying what you like to do. I don't give a fuck about your book. You don't give a fuck about my game. We give a fuck about each other's space.
Mm-hmm.
I let you read your book. I'm on the duty. 2K, whatever it is. I finish, you finish. Now we go back. We can talk. We can have the time together.
Right.
So that's how I would handle it.
That's a
It
good
wouldn't
idea.
be like, I'm gonna play the game. Get out.
Get out. Yeah.
He
It's
ain't
not like
stared,
that.
this nigga ain't stared like a death beam in the back of a bitch head yet. It forced him to live in a space where you gonna see.
But I mean, again now, all these conversations will be, so if she like, yeah, and when you playing the game, I'm gonna just leave the room, I'll be like, damn, you ain't even gotta leave. Like, you don't have to leave. Because trust me, I'm in alone, I can have my alone time even if I'm not playing the game, she can be on the phone with her girls, I can just be chilling in my own space, doing my own thing. Cause I'm a stone-faced nigga. I don't do it like I'm a homebody anyway. So my space, if we living together, it's our space, but I'm gonna still be able to have my space. We was talking about this a couple episodes ago, like, I don't be giving a fuck about what she got going on anyway.
Right.
We was talking about that.
Yeah.
So when I have my times like, yo, I'm about to go play the game. Oh, now you like
Just bothering you all the time.
Game, I'm like, oh, what's up? Like, I'm on the game. Like,
Let me chill in my own space. I'm in my own world right now.
Find something you like to do. I want you to have hobbies. Like, I shouldn't be just fucking with you.
No,
I love to do. No.
Just fucking with you, but I love to do. This nigga got the rhymes.
Because no matter how much I love my girl, how much I care about you, I'ma still have it. I'ma still let her be with my partners. I'ma still let her play the game.
Yeah.
Get in my writing bag. I'ma have things that I can do where I'm
Outside.
like, this is my alone time.
Mm-hmm.
So the isolation time for me, I can have my isolation time and you still be around me. As long as we are able to focus on our hobbies, and I actually will try to push that from my girl. Like,
Right.
find things you like to do, no matter what it is. Because when I'm on a game,
Why you? This nigga over here like.
No, I'm just like, cause I'm
ready.
ready for this. Like when he bring that shit back over
Oh,
here.
okay.
Because
when I'm on the game or whatever I'm doing, that is my alone time.
You better than me too, nigga, because I'm one of them niggas, like, if my bitch in the room while I'm trying to play the game and I start, like, feel like I'm playing like trash, I don't want to play no more because she watching. Like, I'm mad. Like, bitch. I always, like, I used to love playing Resident Evil in the dark and games like that in the dark. I couldn't do that with a bitch, because then
you be screaming, right?
yeah, if I scream about do some wild shit, and then she said, I'm being real, I ain't got wild, like, this shit loud. And I jump. I ain't fuck the screen, say I jump.
Yeah.
Like, it's a reaction. I look at her like, why you, and then I'm getting stabbed the fuck, like, what you laughing for? Like, word, never just dragging me across the street and throwing me all over the place. Go ahead, B.
I personally think, like, and just to be living with somebody before, having separate time is needed. Now, what you're saying I've done before, it's like, yo, if I'm playing, yeah, chill, or whatever the fuck I'm into, if you want to just be around me because you want to be around me, that's perfectly fine. But what I've realized is, and just talking to my homies, other people outside of y'all, like, and just seeing it in the world, a lot of chicks do not have hobbies.
That's
a
true.
lot of women do not have hobbies.
That is true.
Your hobby is you.
Mm-hmm.
Their hobby is you. So it's like,
And they what? Like that was their girl.
yes, that was their girlfriend. It wasn't like slides. No, girlfriends. My niggas that I talk
That's
to
a red flag.
right now. But one of my homies I talked to as much as I talked to y'all, he rectified the situation where it's like like you was just saying, you gotta show your girl like, cause it's nothing to show a person what they hobbies can be. Yo, what you like, what you
Points
into?
of interest,
yeah, points of interest is like, all right. So what are you interested in? What do you like to do?
Nigga
So,
don't want to do no work.
But I'm saying, like, the fuck, you don't know what you like to do.
Go ahead,
so it's like you'll point in that right direction. Like, what are you interested in? What do you like to do? What do you do in your spare time? If I wasn't here, what would you do?
Yeah.
And then you help refine that shit, and it's just like it's just like I only say this because, and I'm talking, and this is women that I deal with on a low level now, where it's not even nothing for real, but it's like they don't have no fucking hobbies. Like I collect comic books, I play video games, I chill with my dogs, I take them to the park, I can go to the gym, whatever. Like I get lost down a YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Whatever, like I have 1,000 other things I can do that aren't you, that I don't have to be up under you while we live together. Because like I've lived with this shit before. I'm a buddy for thing. That shit ain't real. That shit not real, dog.
It's not reality.
You can want to watch Grey's Anatomy for 19 hours all day. I'm going to leave, and I know I'll be able to do shit when I go upstairs that won't involve you whatsoever. So it's like, and I'm just getting back to the point. A lot of women don't have hobbies, so it's like I know I can. That don't make them birds. That's niggas, they don't know what they don't know what they want to do. That's a lot of women. If you talk to
It's a lot of birds.
But they don't qualify you as a bird.
No, I'm not. Alright, that's the thing. My girl will have a hobby.
You literally just said I will help her, show her what her hobby could be.
No. That's not what I said. I will help you understand that you can do your hobby and we can be in the same room. If I'm gonna play the game, it's not like, because I know niggas is like, when I'm doing my space, you go do your own thing. You can do your own thing.
So you want women that doesn't have a hobby?
What the fuck? No. You don't know what you want to. You don't.
It's a hobby. No,
you don't know anything fun that you like to do.
But
like,
see,
what?
A lot of females,
bro, it takes literally zero time to help bring it out of her.
A lot of
she don't know how you gonna bring somebody she don't know.
A lot of females in that realm, they live life not even really having to create a hobby for themselves. Shit, when you single the whole time as a female, your hobby could just be getting attention from niggas.
Bro, that's a hobby.
And then you cuffed up now, that don't necessarily.
Yes, that does. That's the girl that, if you the girl like, I just go to the club for the attention, you a bird, right?
We're not talking about club, but every woman thrives off attention.
Yes.
There isn't a woman on this earth that don't.
You
And
get
the
attention.
one that got a club and got other hobbies, that's to separate themselves. That's how I see it. If you're a woman like, every woman likes to go to the club single and have people talk to them, that's fine. But then when you leave that club and you like, the club, that's one thing I find I like.
But
it should be another female like, I'm not in the club.
He killed me when you do that. That's a point of an extreme.
Thing.
It's not gonna ever be that extreme. What I'm saying, put it like this. Fuck the whole attention shit. That's part of it. A lot of females that I've ever matched with on in these day and naps, the chicks that I ran into at the club, I exchanged numbers and got to know them a bit more. A lot of these chicks outside of like, the dating shit part of their life, when they come to recreational shit, all they do is kick back and watch Netflix or whatever. They get free time out. They love that shit. The horror mystery podcast. Outside of work, it's that. So if they did introduce a man into their life, I thought you was gonna make it a face, bro.
No.
You introduce a man to their life, they introduce a man to their life. That creates a dynamic. Not saying that they're gonna lean on you, but they might lean on you a bit more than you lean on them. And it's not that she's incapable of a hobby.
That's what it is.
It's just and she might have not been exposed to it in the correct way.
She just don't know what she.
All the females that I took serious, the three that I took serious had hobbies. When I met them, we were able to talk about the things that I like and the things that she liked. One of them was playing sports, another one was writing, one liked to read, that was one. One of them liked poetry. She liked to do cooking. She would watch cook shows, then cook. Then the last one, damn, it's kind of fucking, I don't remember.
But she
Fuck that bitch, she was the first one, fuck her. But yeah, like, bro, that's what I come to you, we talking, I'm like, what you like to do?
No, but women that give surface
Like
level
what,
answers.
bro?
But women that give surface level answers when you ask them
Yeah,
in the day and say like what you like to do. Well, I like to watch Housewives of Atlanta and
that's my job to see you the bullshit and not pick a bird.
But that don't mean you're a bird just because you like trash TV. I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I still to this day watch Teen Mom.
If you a female with no hobbies, you a bird.
That's
I'm king.
Brandon,
Coming at
this is one of them things with Mike right
No,
now.
that's not a young.
No, I ain't even getting that bad.
Not young.
It's easy to say that. We'll just leave it
I
there.
just said, remember when I was trying to get him? Like, it's easy to say you want to be in this room with this broad all the time. You do your thing while she. Alright, bro. You won't start
Again,
if he smell like cornflakes and shit.
again. That was the answer to the isolation question. Now, of course, when I go do my own thing, her hobbies that she has, she go do her cooking shit in the kitchen. Why the fuck she gonna be doing a cookbook in the game in the room we playing 2K? No, she has hobbies, so she go and do her other hobbies. Now, if your hobby is something that you can do in the room, then we can do that. Now, if your hobby that you should have, I ain't never met no grown ass woman that don't know what to do but be around me.
What?
Y'all be around.
We definitely run into took on females in the test case.
Bro, I am telling you, man. Nigga.
Now,
let me my answer yet, nigga.
let me not say I haven't ran into them. I know they're out there. I don't take them serious. That's the thing. Because I know it's a lot of, I ran into a lot of females who like, well, what do you like to do? Well, I don't really know. I mean, I like to. Okay, well, you're no longer getting white.
Well, I mean, I can see. Look, if you looking at it from that point, me and Brandon might look at that as unrealistic. But if you saying that's a preference of yours, so where you want to
that's your preference.
I can't even speak to it to that degree. But what I'm saying is, for me, I feel as though it's important to get that alone time. But it's one of those things. If you got the one bedroom apartment, like you said, I don't think all people look at it in the light of you, where it's like you can be in the same exact room doing something separate of what the other person doing and still having your own alone time. But it's like,
that's what my ex had 3. I ain't to do with that.
That's a good thing. I was actually about to say, y'all can afford it in the budget of whoever's paying for what.
She did.
Yeah, right. But in the budget, it wasn't for her to have. She had home. Yeah, I ain't even know that, but you know what I mean. So it's like, she had 3 bedrooms in that motherfucker.
3 bedrooms.
So yeah, you had the living room, kitchen, dining room. So you can create your whole space. Yeah. Right. So it's like, if you can get that in the budget, and that's part of what y'all can do, go ahead and do that, because it's going to definitely help. Shit, homie, if you got a 2-bedroom apartment, depending on if y'all got a kid on the way at night, you might be able to get off with the 2nd bedroom being your man cave. You know what I'm saying? If she cared enough, if she wants that to happen.
Like, I want that for my extra closet.
That's from my soap clothes. Bitch, you ain't gonna never use a sewing machine, bitch. But getting back to this shit, I kind of look at it like, for me, it was easy to just maneuver myself out of the room. If she was in the room and she was watching whatever she Gossip Girls, whatever, Gilmore Girl, whatever the fuck she was into, she was into that shit. And she laying down in the bedroom, and it's Sunday. Like, me and Brandon talk about this all the time. It's Sunday, nigga. Football's on. She had a respect where it was like, all right, I'm probably not gonna really talk to him at all that much until the end of the night, unless I decide to go into the living room with him and maybe catch a little bit of the Bengals game and watch it with me. Now we was always down and out, and I'm sitting there like, man, this shit. But at the end of the day, she knew that was my time, and that's what made me happy. I look forward to Sundays for part of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a respect of understanding why that person might need that alone time and why they favor it so much. I'm a football fanatic. I love the Bengals. So
you know, I'm gonna say Eric did until you said that Bengals shit. I'm a football fanatic. Ravens all day.
Nigga, fuck the Ravens. But anyway, it was a point of respect there. Because a lot of times I feel like with certain fellas, they struggle with it because they be trying to get into their bag with like having their alone time doing their hobbies. And like me and B was saying, females that may not have as much hobbies and things that they into as much might try to lure you away from that because they don't want to be able to. That's fair, you can say. I can't kill you for doing that, but I'm looking at it like, in that realm, that's just a struggle of a person not understanding how to kind of disconnect. Because it's a healthy disconnect. It's a necessary disconnect. I don't know, I was going to say necessity. Necessary disconnect. It's something that you have to do. So if you don't do that, y'all gonna have arguments basically predicated off of that bullshit. Everything gonna be tense. Y'all not gonna be able to have respect for each other in that sense. So that alone time for me was extremely important. It was like something we never even discussed, bro. It was like a given. You knew like, alright, it's some shit I'm about to get into. And then sometimes I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes I come in the room, in the living room, if I just got done cooking and she got Gossip Girl on, I might kick back and watch a little bit of it with her too. Right. It's important to partake in some of that bullshit with them. You know what I'm saying? I know she don't give a fuck about the Bengals. Her family was Steelers fans. But it was like, she still would watch it because she knew that I was into it.
Compromise.
Hey, fellas, when you get to know a new chick, see if she's capable of that. See, this shit that I'm talking about, see if she's capable of that too. Because I'm gonna have moments where, I remember when I went on the first date when I was in Rhode Island, I had the Bengals game on, she came over to the crib, and we was laughing at the game because niggas was missing field goals and doing all kinds of crazy shit. But she was enjoying it with me. She didn't give a fuck about football. But then I'm sitting the whole time she laughing and cracking jokes. I'm looking at her like, okay, point one. You know what I'm saying? Right. Adding points to the scoreboard without her even probably knowing that she's doing it.
Yeah.
So it's important. It's an extreme important thing to realize what you got and pay attention to that. In the talking stage, the same shit that I'm talking about when I'm living with a chick for years or whatever have you, It applies to the bitch in the beginning, bro. Pay attention to that shit, get a feel for it. Ladies, the same thing with the fella. See if he has a point of compromise where he's okay with that, entertaining some of the shit that you would do for your typical alone time. He wants to play a part in it too. That's an important thing. Niggas, you should win points off of that, in my personal opinion. So, wrapping that shit up. We gonna talk on camera about that whole bird shit if you would.
No, that shit, that doesn't make sense. How do you not have hobbies and you want to be with someone?
Man, a lot of motherfuckers don't have hobbies.
Okay, and that's fine, but you're not going to be able to be with someone. That's the thing I don't get how y'all don't understand that.
But that's not necessarily
bro, it's not a thing of understanding. It's that there are people out here who are functioning adults that are good people that don't have hobbies. That doesn't make them birds.
It just does. So you don't like anything. What the?
Bro, Netflix is available 24/7, 365, and that be motherfuckers' hobbies.
Yes, bro.
Like legit, that's the only hobby that they have. I kick back and I'll binge
that's
shows.
Overconsumption of TV. That's like
probably the number one hobby, unfortunately.
That shit is weird.
But how to make him a bird though, bro?
We know what bird are. I agree with you saying it's weird.
This is why I call them a bird. Because if it's like, yeah, I can go and do this thing, and all you can do is I'm just being you.
Bro, you have to understand they've probably never been put in a position where they've been exposed to.
So that's not my fault.
We're not saying it's your fault, but if you care about that person, you're gonna take the time to help them realize what they like, so they can be happy and set themselves.
This that coaching up shit that y'all be talking about.
That's
what that is. They coaches.
You see what I'm saying? You got it.
They coaches. Get the fuck out of here.
Nigga, listen.
I
know how to turn on my Phil Jackson when necessary.
Yeah.
Who you Randy Tommanovich?
I'm not coaching anything. I'm not. There's just be no coaching. Duncan Robinson gonna be a shooter no matter if you Phil Jackson. Duncan Robinson is a shooter. Can't nobody make him Rondo. But what type of coach you is? He's a shooter.
Get to the next topic.
You know what I'm saying?
The next topic here, fellas. Kind of to a degree. It's all about withstanding a relationship and certain parts that might play a part if they can make it to this cut at least. So, today we are going to speak about religion and its standpoint within a relationship. When you get to know somebody, how that makes you feel. So, speaking to it today to start this one off, fellas. How do you feel about the significant other? Your significant other, say it's somebody that's actually dealing with your dating. Her religion doesn't align with yours. Is that a deal breaker? Is that something that completely cuts something off? Or can you continue to entertain that person if y'all have completely, say it don't even have to necessarily be separate, but I mean a lot of religions do have their, opposing sides of it. So with that specifically, could you still entertain that female when she does have a religion that opposes yours to a degree?
That's not a deal breaker for me.
It's not.
No. Because with me, with religion, I believe in it and I respect it, but it's not like real big for me. So as long as like I respect the things that you got going, like your religion and the things you gotta handle, whatever it is, if I like you. But I would never make it where it's like, no, fuck that. Or like, you don't believe this.
Nah, that would have been over
because it wouldn't be a big deal to me because, like I said, if I care about you, I'm gonna respect it in ways that I have to. Not have to, but in ways I should.
So going into a situation when you first getting to know somebody, you first on the first matchup or whatever have you, like say you know for a fact her shit don't even align with yours. That's not something that you're not even running away from getting to know that person.
Yeah, I can still get to know you.
Oh, gotcha. What's up with you?
For me, it's not a problem. This is coming from somebody who's not religious whatsoever. God will see them. But no, I don't care what you are. You can be.
You gotta have a punchline. Why do you say I don't have a religion? He's like, God is evil. Like, you say something right after that.
No, you can be whatever religion, whatever faith, what denomination you want to be. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. And I'll support you. Like, if that's what you want to do, or not what you want to do. If that's what you are, that's what you are. I'm here for it. So, and I can still exist in my non-beliefs and still be with someone who believes.
Okay, I respect that. So for me specifically, it does not really play a part in my decision making when I'm dealing with somebody. It's not even like a preference of mine. Like I couldn't speak to it in a way where it's like, I am a Christian and I do have my belief, but I agree with you in the aspect of that is that I don't look at that as something that runs the show of my life.
Right.
And I feel as though that's how religion should be looked upon. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have your respect and connection to it, but it's like when it runs that deep, sometimes you find yourself kind of alienating yourself from other people. Like you don't even want to have a connection with them because they have a different belief.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to put myself in that position. And like even with me, like when I was young, I think things change as we all grow up. And I appreciate my mom because my mom, and I know your mom was the same way. Like niggas, church every Sunday. Right. When we was kids, we go to church every Sunday, no matter what. Nothing you could do to get out of it. There were times I would try to fake sick. I'd be at Aunt Lorraine house. I'd be like, I'm sick. Aunt Lorraine, you know, damn well I ain't sick.
We have all the pictures with the mad vision. Yeah. Mad as hell, we got this sweet time on your face.
So you grow up in that kind of household. For real. You grow up in that kind of household. It's something that is a point of normalcy. Like I never really looked at it that much different. And I mean, shit, as a kid, you don't have the wherewithal to understand that people outside of you don't even think that way. You think that everybody is like that.
Everybody getting dressed up.
But what my parents and what my mom did a good job of was like, as I gotten older, well, when I did get older, to make my own decisions and kind of go about my life the way I want to, she allowed me to set that route. Like it wasn't like, you still got to kind of do some of these things. Like we didn't go to church as much. We kind of stopped going completely, but she made sure to still speak about it here and there in the household. But it was like, it was able to allow me to do what I want to do. Now I had my every right to go to church every Sunday if I still wanted to do it. But she kind of was like, all right, you and your older, your teens at this point, like, do as you please, understand what you need to do. You know right from wrong, what you should be doing. But create your own lane. So I do think I attribute my outlook with dating on that a lot to that because I wasn't kind of forced to it when it was starting to become a part of my life where I made my own decisions. Mm-hmm. So that shit for me, bro, like, it doesn't have an importance to a degree where it's like I can't deal with you at all. Like shit, when I'm on Hinge, it'd be funny too. Sometimes I don't really pay as much attention to it because obviously it's not a deciding factor. But a lot of bitches be atheists. Like it be saying atheists. I don't have any belief, non-belief. Like a lot of the times I see it. Mm-hmm. If I'm a religious ass nigga, I'm gonna be swiping left. Well, I'm gonna be swiping left for all the hoes. If that's the case.
Yeah, like, and the funny thing is when you go out, my back is fucking killing me right now. When you go on Hinge, just I'm an old nigga. But
hey, so I ain't gonna get out.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna kill you. Go ahead, do your thing.
I said I'm old, bro.
Now, you did say that, so it cleaned it up, but you was like, my back killing me right now.
I'm old, bro. Y'all niggas, that's
hey,
what I'm talking about, man. No, when I say I be going on a date, actually, the funniest shit that killed me with bitches be like, you have to have a relationship with God.
A lot. I do run into that, though. I will say that. I do run into that.
But see, this is my thing, like, for females and guys too that be like, yeah, you gotta be a God-fearing man, God-fearing.
God-fearing, that's what they say.
Then it's like, alright, if we had this conversation, how you handling yourself?
You said he said you better fear me. What you said?
But it's like, you say that, but then it's like, they next picture it'd be like two liquor bottles, like it's like
word,
double fisting that don't
you talking about the God-fearing man, but you doing nothing but
Mom, you got coochie colors on that.
That's the thing. Like there's hypocrisy in it.
You only want the God-fearing man when he's cool. You don't care that he can drink, he can smoke, he can scam them. Mm-hmm. But if he like, I ain't trying to go to church, you like, what?
You not God-fearing?
So it's like, man, they just try to throw it out there like, yeah, but they don't really follow it like a God-fearing person. When you throw it up there,
don't be living your life right.
Exactly.
I hear the good word.
And I kind of do agree. That's a good way to look at it because you gotta be. I feel like with this, you gotta be objective because it's like you can miss out on a lot of blessings. No pun intended. You can miss out on a lot of blessings if you look at life that way, where I can't date certain women. Now I will say I've never run into this to where I was even put in a position to seriously consider. But I do wonder if I really like the chick and say I was getting to know her, things was going extremely well, and I was like, damn. She different, B. Like I'm on that type of vibe for sure.
I'm telling you, she different. I ain't hit that one in a while.
You ain't needed to.
Oh my god.
Yes. Getting back to it, it's like, but say she Muslim. I've never ran into a Muslim female that I felt that way about. So I don't really, because their outlook in life and their religious belief, they run a lot deeper than most religions.
I be fucking with the Muslim girls. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that outlook on a lot of shit.
Okay.
Not saying that I'm that, but
yeah, that's it.
I love pork too much, man. The pig has been good to me.
So how would you feel about them? I don't know if you ever ran into that. Like, if you was even in a position to seriously consider.
Nah, I never. It would have to, when that time came, we would have to try to see how we could handle it. Like, okay. I wouldn't just be like, what? No. But like you said, like, the bacon.
It's delicious. And niggas stop telling me turkey bacon is good alternative. Turkey bacon is like fucking cardboard. Yeah,
it's not that great. I was on it for a little bit. Remember the white joint introduced me to that? Actually, it was funny. It was hilarious. Because all she did was fuck niggas. But the white chick introduced me to that.
Turkey bacon.
Remember?
Like,
who? You said the white joint.
The white joint. What was her name? It's over the A. You're not gonna remember. She what she say? I can't even remember. She wasn't. It's just irrelevant. That's probably why it's harder to even remember anything. But
Went to school with her?
did I?
The we?
No, we definitely did not.
Either way.
But yeah, like with that specifically, like I don't know, because I kind of look at it like I don't know if she would be able to see herself with me. Like, would you try to convert me to that shit? Like, what exactly would occur in that picture?
Yeah, like how would you handle the situation where I'm like, yo, I'm about to get this sausage pizza.
I'm coming to contact women like that were Muslim, and they said they didn't care. Like they're still staunch in their beliefs, but they would, if they love somebody who was Jewish, Christian, Catholic, atheist, non-denomination, non-believer, they're gonna continue to do their thing, but that would not stifle that other person from living their life the way they live it.
Gotcha.
And I've seen a lot of Muslim women are very open, as I've seen before, as far as dealing with somebody who is not their religion.
I mean, I guess the closest that I've came to it, I mean, it's different, of course, but one of my like close friends was Muslim, so it would be times where he had to go and like do what he had to do,
Right.
where I know he coming to the crib. I'm like, all right, mom, we about to have a pizza party for the 12th birthday. I know I gotta get cheese pizza for him.
Right.
Like, so it was things that you definitely had to like to adjust to, but that was my man's. Like I had love for him.
Yeah,
So it was like, I'm not gonna be like, no, bro, you can enjoy yourself.
Right.
Nigga, we said pepperoni. If you don't like it, get the fuck out, nigga.
And then even when we went to his crib and his mom and they there, like they was like, all right, I know Mike and them is coming. We might have our cheese pizza, but we gonna order the sausage for them.
That's very like,
You know what I'm saying?
what's that
That was-
term? That's very open to them to be like, yo, we don't fuck with that, but because we have somebody here who's not
Right.
our religion, we gonna still
That
accommodate
is dope.
them.
I fuck with that.
You know what I'm saying? So that was probably the closest I came to it.
Mhm.
It's a little different because it
Progressive
wasn't
is the
like,
word. That's very
Yeah,
progressive.
yeah.
it wasn't like the relation, like the love of relationship involved. It could be a different aspect, but it didn't really affect them for us. Like that's still my dog to this day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny that you even spoke to the idea of adjustment, and that's why I brought up the Muslim religion in general, because I do understand their beliefs and how stout they are in them. I remember I was ignorant to the idea of understanding that like they have their times when they pray, no matter where the fuck they at, they gonna get on their knees and pray. And I used to work with somebody that was Muslim. I remember when it first happened, I was in the break room and then he got on his knees and he started praying, and I thought something was going on. I was like, you good? Like I said that, and he ain't say hell no. He acted like I wasn't in the room, and I was like, I walked out of the room and I was like, oh.
Yeah, like
Okay.
you kind of understood. Oh, okay, that's
I was able to learn that anytime I was seeing from that point on, I just keep it pushing. I understood what was going on.
Right.
So yeah, it's just kind of interesting. But getting into the next question with this one here, fellas. Say you're dealing with a chick, and I kind of make it the playing field a bit easy because you want to be able to make it make sense. But it's like, all right, Christian belief, your Christian belief, and she's atheist, or the other way around, however you want to be. How do you go about raising a child with a woman that you like that? Like y'all got to that point. Kids involved, marriage is involved, y'all at that point. But you do have your religious belief, even if you're not deep in them, like how we speak about it at times or whatever. It's like, how do you go about raising a child?
See that to that extreme would be tough for a person like me, just because of my family. Like it'd be tough because, say, my wife, if she's atheist, she don't want my kid around that. I know for a fact when she get around grandma,
Back.
Smokey Norfolk gonna be playing in the background.
Right,
Kurt
right.
Franklin, they gonna be around it.
That's the way it works.
That's just the way it works with Mom Duke. She's a gospel Zumba instructor.
Oh shit!
Right.
Wow.
You feel me? So
Facts.
she be dancing the Zumba with the gospel back. So that'd be real. I would have to handle that like, look.
Michael's on the temper like, are you ready for a revolution?
Man, no cap. No cap. I done did it all in the church. So it's like, that would be, I would have to talk to her like, look, if we can kind of handle it how we want to handle it, like, my kid gonna know about God, Christianity off the top, just because I was raised.
Yeah.
But I know my mom, she's gonna push that a lot more than I would. My mom, my pops, aunts, I know that's gonna be that's their bag.
Yeah.
They really into that. So
I got a pause. I was thinking what you just said. I gotta show you the picture. It's somewhere on Facebook, Instagram. But it was back in our church days, and Mike was in church, and like they had like a poster. It was like a little get to know me joint, and Mike had like a little bio, and he had he was in the picture. He had his fist up, and he was like, "Damn, I'm gonna knock you out." Yo,
that was my bag. Big, when I tell you, I did it, bro. I danced, played the choir,
he did all that.
did the choir.
About the 2 pieces of W.
Oh, whoop that nigga, you can't kill me that day. I had like a leather jacket on.
Yo,
I remember that shit.
Telling you.
But go ahead, B.
So this is raising kid questions, right? I look at it like this: whether she's Jewish, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, whatever denomination you are, because we're dealing with somebody who because I'm a non-believer, so it's not even gonna be a point of conversation if someone who's not a believer. If you are a believer, all I say is teach the kids whatever part of religion. But if it's a deity on it, like a physical person like Jesus or whoever,
Right.
we not about to be worshiping a white Jesus. That's what we not going to be doing. That nigga will be black, whatever deity he is.
That's
Because we're not about to
fair.
abuse my motherfucking job.
That's extremely fair.
But outside of that, as long as he's worshiping somebody who looks like him, I don't care. And then, cause like my parents never forced religion onto me. My dad's Catholic, my mom's Christian, Baptist, whatever the hell.
Right.
They never forced that shit onto me. I know that's wild. I went to church with my grandma when I was a kid before a couple of times with my brother, but it was never a main staple in my life. So, like, if my wife wants to take my kid to church or the mosque or the fucking temple, wherever the hell, like, let me see. Wherever y'all go,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Like I said, just make sure that deity is black that you worshiping. Won't be doing none of that. But outside of that, when my child gets older, if he wants to come talk to dad and be like, "Dad, what do I have to do this?" Well, you got to do what you feel is right. Because people are
good
born,
that you open-minded about it now.
people are born in a religion, so they think that's the way.
Right.
You got to figure out what's your way.
Exactly.
You was born in a Catholic household, so your parents taught you Catholicism. You might really align with being Hindu. You don't know. You're an adult. You can't conceptualize that as a child, so you have to get out there in the world and figure out what's for you.
Right.
No belief was the way for me. But I don't knock somebody who believes, because we all conceptualize life whatever way we have to, be it in whatever religion or not. So it's like my child, you know what I'm saying, if his mother wants to raise him in her religion, that's fine. It's just when he gets older, I would let my child know, start looking at other books of worship, like read the Quran, read the Bible, read the Torah. Like, figure out what it is you feel like aligns to you. As you get older, you can kind of conceptualize it, what you want out of life. But outside that, go ahead and do your thing.
I like that. That's a really open mind. And I think that's with this religious shit, that's the most important part of it, is being open-minded. And understanding that there are going to be other people out there that you find attraction.
You ready to talk to daddy, nigga? I'm gonna tell you what it really is, nigga.
Right, you gotta tell that back. I've been looking at you going, this nigga. But it's like being open-minded, and on both ends of it, that go the same exact way. Like Brandon was saying, if he's dealing with a chick that is a Christian, but she has to say I'm open-minded to his outlook. Right. Say if it's Sunday morning and she want to take, little whatever the fuck Brandon's son going name be. Like
Junebug. He sent the Junebug.
For real. But they want to go to Sunday church or whatever in the morning.
The fuck out. Waking up at 11:30 to set my line up and then be watching football while y'all niggas is at church.
So there has to be that point of respect there for that female that you're dealing with. And I think as long as both parties on it can be open-minded, it could work. For me specifically, it's like I had the open-minded outlook that like I said, my faith and my religion I made sure as I gotten older that it doesn't run as deep as where it makes decisions for me in that aspect with the women that I'm with and who I love. But it's like, I do know, and I kind of relate to what you're saying, as a family aspect, when I do take my son and my daughter over to that side of the family, that's going to naturally be a part of it. I don't want to force that on my child, nor do I want to put my female that I'm dealing with in a position where she feels as though she's less than.
She's uncomfortable.
Yeah, because at that point, he might grow closer, she might grow closer, he or she might grow closer to that situation with me, and it can I don't want to isolate mom in that way.
Yeah.
I would feel a certain way. So I think, getting back to your bag, it really would be about a conversation. Like, who's comfortable with what? Would you be okay if I introduce that into our son or into our daughter's life? Have that active conversation, and no, don't be starting making decisions like regardless because of what you want.
Right.
A lot of motherfuckers do that. It's funny, like, just to speak on that, how that works. I forgot, it was my nigga Twan said this shit on Facebook. They was talking about baby moms just like that because he got a baby mom, and this nigga said they was talking about co-parenting and like how important it is to co-parent, make sure y'all both on the same page. And then I forgot, she was like, he said she responded to him and was like, so she said whatever I deem as co-parenting is going to be the acceptable way. He's like, that's not co-parenting.
That's what you parenting.
thing. You got, and that's a female thing, unfortunately. But that's something.
He was co-parented. I'm sorry.
That's what she basically said. Like it's almost like when the chick be like, when the chick, because she has a son or the daughter more than a male, and she might have a nigga that she's dealing with that's around her son or the daughter. But then as soon as it's daddy weekend, you better not have no females around so I can't be happy. I can't have chicks around. Like if it's somebody I'm really seeing and I'm feeling, I'm not gonna have slides over here near my son. But and I think they actually get even more mad. It's like, oh, it's a nigga that you like. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem. So at the end of the day, that's something that I don't know. I think that it's important to speak to that.
Yeah.
And it's also it's more important as well to have that conversation. You make an active decision and you feel comfortable with what you want to feel comfortable with. You go with it from that point, but the conversation has to be had.
Right.
All right, so fellas, getting into this next question, to finish this one off. Would you ever convert?
No.
Man, can I finish the sentence? You said no, but would you ever convert? We know your answer. I'm gonna let you expound on that. But would you ever convert beliefs if that was a conversation that your significant other brought up?
No. And this is why. Because something I did, like we were saying, when I kind of got to this certain age of where I was able to kind of just do my own research and really understand why I want to believe in certain stuff, my parents just let me. I mean, they wasn't never like. My parents did a good job of like, alright, Christianity. But if you can come with a legit reason of why you like, man, I want to change.
What age did they tell you this?
It wasn't a conversation we had, but it was just like as I got older.
You was an adult at this point?
Yeah, when I got older, it was like, all right, every Sunday we going to church. Then it was like, all right, we going to church.
Kind of let you do
You know what I'm saying? Get up, we going to church. Then if I'm home from college, it's like, we going to church.
You know when they come?
I'm sleeping. They like, all right. So they kind of, it was like, all right, he a little older now, I'm letting him do his own thing. It was, so, but for me, no, because I'm a Christian because I want to be.
Right.
I did my own research, I looked into it, the things I didn't really fuck with it, things I did fuck with it, why I want to do it, why I didn't want to do it, whatever it was.
Right.
You can't convert me into nothing else because
I fuck with Christianity just for that fact. You can wild out and be like, I'm sorry. It's done. I fuck with that.
This nigga good. Yeah. But my answer is simply no.
No, so that. What about you, Big?
I wouldn't convert, but I would go on a pilgrimage with my significant other. Like, I'll be open into like taking a pilgrimage to study and learn about what you do. Like, if you was Jewish, teach me about that shit. Immerse me in that. Let me learn about it. Or if you was Muslim or Hindu or whatever, let me learn about it. This is, if you're really into this, not if you just part-time like most people are with their religion, I just say I'm this, and then I do some things here and there, but, well, if you ain't really all the way in, I ain't really gonna ask to do that, but if this is what you do, you die by this shit every day, and you go about your life as best you can to appease your religion or your God or rule or whatever, well, I'm not gonna convert, but I wanna try what you're doing. I wanna see how you like this, how your world is. I'm open to doing that, especially if it's the woman I love.
Right.
I definitely, I fuck with that.
Put yourself in position to grow an understanding with it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. I mean, see, once again, it's important. I think this question is difficult though because I feel like you asking for a lot when you put somebody in that position.
It's just you asking somebody to change.
Yeah, and the part about it that I actually speak to kind of get my answer would be a harsh no. Like I wouldn't do that at all. Like I'm not looking to convert. Now, if this is something that I decided to do on my own as an individual, and it might have just so happened to align with your thoughts, then that's different. But I look at it like, well, if you already in a serious relationship, we engaged, or we just been long term boyfriend, girlfriend, or married, you fell in love with the nigga
before.
Yeah, you know who you're dealing with, who you had in your hand. So it's like, all right, man. Well, if this is the type of motherfucker that you're dealing with, there should be a point of respect to where it's like, I would never even want to put you in a position to feel as though you got to make a decision, because let's be real, even if she tried to dish it, well, women do this all the time in just general, but when shit like that occurs, if you look at it from both spectrums,
shit like that.
It's in what?
I'm saying the battle rap shit like that.
This nigga, it's an ultimatum. I gotta make a decision, even if you don't serve it up in that way. If I tell you what you don't like to hear, then I might be subject to losing you.
Right.
So I might say some shit. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But then you gotta speak to the aspect of some men who would then look at it like, shit, well, I don't want to necessarily lose you. I don't want to do that in the third. So it's like,
Suckers.
what would you?
Bro, if she loved you, she would not put you in a what's that shit, ultimatum where it's like, if you don't do this, she'll love me.
But you don't know, bro. Religion. I mean, I've been putting ultimatums. I feel like that if I ever talked to the person or the people that put me in that position would say that they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's them not owning up to what they did. If I did this, then I did this. If I gave you an ultimatum, I'm not gonna be like, I ain't do that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if a person's putting you into an unrealistic ultimatum, then they don't really love you the way they say they do. Because love should be, what's that shit they say? Love is like unconventional. Like you should not put me in a bind and give me an ultimatum as to why I should love you if it's on some shit like, well, I've been knowing you for about 10 years now. I'm gonna need you to be Muslim now, nigga.
Me personally,
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I just speak to the aspect of it from the outside looking in because I know there are people out there that would, because religion runs deep and family, it's like a heritage thing, like up from certain points in your life, generation thing. So it's like, I don't know how it doesn't run that deep in the aspect of me where it's like, nigga, you got to deal with anybody. They're not a Christian, you can't fuck. Now, certain people, my family, I'm going to hold you. I'm like, I can't hold you on it. Some of them would probably look at it like that. But the thing is, and this is actually kind of getting into the second part of the question, we spoke to it a little bit. It's like, I would never allow to that point, like what my family believes and their belief, to be like a deciding factor in what I do and why I do it. Because they might look at it like, okay, you need to have a wholesome church girl, this, that, and the third, which I know some of the people
Go to Christian gal.
But it's just like, I can easily tell you that, yeah, I feel you at the Thanksgiving little dinner or the Christmas dinner, and then not see you again to that point, and then just continue doing what I do.
Right.
So it's like, I'd much rather do that than tell you that I'm not going to do it, and then you give me some long-ass essay.
Well, son, this is why. It's always the, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That speech.
And once again, that's getting back into that life shit where it's like, what works for you is works for you, and that's fine, but don't align that to me, and that has to be my...
Like, did y'all ever cheat on you?
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Then it's like, shut up.
Right. It's like, I don't even want to get that deep because I know if we have an actual conversation, I'm going to speak to things that I feel though might be points of hypocrisy. So then it's like, how's that come on? Now I'm the bad guy.
yeah, I'm the bad guy, but I'm speaking of points of which you're a hypocrite, but you're trying to project this bullshit onto me, and I'm telling you, no, before that.
Right. So that's why I look at it like, I would never convert because I am who I am. You fell in love with who I am. If I wasn't who I am, if I changed that when you first got to know me, who the fuck said you would have fell in love with? You might have not fell. Something would have changed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I gotta have a respect for that, an understanding for that, and I move on from it. So to get into this, actually, yeah, like I said, I got 1A1B even with this too. That family shit, like, so that has no play at all into like your decision making. Like looking at it like when you dating a female, you getting to know a female, which your family does. I know it doesn't for you as an individual, but you don't see that having much of an influence in anything that you do with your personal life.
Me personally, the relationship I have with my family, it wouldn't. Now the conversation will come up. So for example, I don't see myself being with a female that's like, I don't believe nothing. I won't just be like, that won't ever happen.
Or that has hobbies.
But you get no hobbies, that makes no sense. You're a bird.
Yeah.
I don't know what you are. You could be Beyonce. You know how many hobbies? You're a bird.
Yo, what? That's a cap on your head.
No, it's not.
What is it?
A hat. A hat. Cause I had enough of that bullshit that y'all talking about.
Spicy.
I had to think that quick. I'm like, shit, this is
You want to spot.
But like I said, I have a real good relationship with my folks. Now, like I said, my mom, you go in the crib, you gonna hear Kirk Franklin off top. So if that situation were to come up, I would for sure have to have a conversation like, look, mom, I got this relationship with her. Y'all gonna have to put the front on.
Mm-hmm.
When she come over,
The way it worked.
put the front on. Yeah, it's okay. And when she leaves, she can be the nappy headed joint that she want to be. That's cool. Y'all can make the jokes about her. It's cool. Just when she around, put the front on.
You gonna have a little face on, like the crying face behind the back.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like they love you so much. Nigga be like, yeah, I do. Didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I would just have a conversation with him. But like you said, everybody probably don't got the relationship I have, so it would be a little harder. But for me, I can honestly say that would be an easy, not easy, but it would be a conversation I would be comfortable with having.
Right.
With my family.
What about you, man?
Lay it out. This is like in regards to religion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, my parents already know me.
Yeah,
they already know me.
know.
So anything, any woman that I bring home in that regard, it's like, you better take what you can get. Well, you better take what I'm bringing around.
Facts,
And it's like,
facts.
you already know. They not gonna care if she practice, as long as she practice something, my mom be like, oh shit.
Right.
So it's like, cause she always be like, well, you need somebody with religion and structure or some shit because that can handle you and all that. Whatever the fuck that means. But no, my peoples wouldn't care. That they just care that she's a good woman, and that she treat me well, and I'm happy and all that fly shit. So it would never be a point of contention where it's like, well, she ain't this. I'm not nothing.
Yeah,
like, so
I see
it's
what
like
you're
they
saying.
can't even go into that. Like, she better be Christian.
That interesting. That creates a different dynamic where that expectation shouldn't be there.
It's just, look, mommy, you know I'm not bringing no ducks home. You know I don't do that. So it's like, and I look, what I will say,
Facts,
my mom smelled birds. She gonna let me know.
As you should, Mom. I love that. I respect that. I think all three of our moms do that.
I appreciate my mom for that. And the women in my family, they smell bird, they gonna let me know. So it's like, it ain't about nothing. So it's, on a religious standpoint, they already know I'm a God, see piece of shit. So all that other shit, my people gonna hold me down.
Gotcha. And with me specifically, my mom is she extremely open-minded. I mean, the reason why I look at dating in the way that I do is partly because of my mother.
Right.
So I already know how she thinks, how she goes about
Jordan
it.
hella open with his mom too.
Hell
I
yeah.
could never be. Jordan be talking about sex with his mom. I could not. Bro,
That's how I am my folks like.
huh?
Facts.
And y'all religious niggas. Bro, no, that shit is so weird to me. No, bro. I hate that to this. Well, not to this day, but when up until I moved out my parents' house, I was trying to hide the hickey on my neck and shit like that. What you mean, mom? Mosquito attack me.
Ain't nothing funny when you say your mom caught you with the makeup on, like the makeup on your face. For kissing the jaw.
Yeah.
They had like the powder makeup and B had that shit on his face.
Yeah, I walked through the
Yo, if you do that, don't fuck with me. I'm gonna just say that right now because then I start realizing you don't even look the way you look. I remember I had one joint over, and he was with his ex, and I ain't know like they wasn't even in the crib, and I just got done like I had to.
Was you in the elevator or was we in the elevator?
No. Y'all wasn't even elevated yet. Y'all was about to get in the elevator. We was on the 4th floor, so I was about to walk her down. Now, granted, Fifth, you right. Now, Shorty didn't even tell me my face looked that way, which she found and she knew that.
Right.
So I'm walking out. She ain't one of them bitches that apparently just pound makeup on her face. So I'm walking into the gym, to the elevator, and our elevators be having like a little mirror in that joint. And I looked at that shit. I was like, you know the boy? He's like, I think that I'm Tom Cruise. And the nigga like,
This nigga was like Krusty the Clown coming out the elevator. I'm like, otherwise, y'all was headed in.
no, you ain't see me, nigga.
No, that's what was nice.
Because what happened was I noticed it and I said something to her and you didn't see me because I was like, I'm about to go in the bathroom real quick. I was about to go down and be like, fuck it, whatever. But then I was like, hell nah, I'm about to go in the bathroom. So I ran back into the apartment, washed my face off, and then we got into the elevator and we went down to the first floor and that door opened. Brandon and his ex was standing right there.
Oh,
So had I not done that,
Like, yeah.
bro. Yeah, I think my another situation.
yeah, you doing something else. That ain't happened to me though. That ain't
Nah, it wasn't you. I know who you were.
But
I know it was.
what the fuck was I saying? The religion shit, right? Oh no, I was talking about the pain. You talking about like your mom. But you did tell me. You also said that like if you ever, that's more so on your part. Like if you decided to be that open with discussion.
They would. I'm sure my parents would, but no disgusting.
You stone faced nigga.
I don't want to divulge none of that shit to my parents. Like I would like to think my parents think I'm a virgin. I know that's not true. They know I'm not a virgin.
Of course, nigga.
But
8.
facts. I could be.
This nigga.
But
Nigga said.
But no, in all honesty, like I don't feel comfortable having this kind of conversation with my parents, bro. So it's no.
That's fair. I mean, that is fair. I can understand that. It's all about the dynamic and how it was from day one. Like that might have just not. Now, what's funny about it is my mom wasn't like that from day one. But as I got older, I think it was a common understanding that it's like, all right, this nigga.
You was talking about your mom about your hostcapades, like.
Cause she give me.
I was washing up in the sink and I was realizing I ain't fuck with her like that.
Because I do lean on her for her insight and her advice, and that shit, like compared to any advice that I could give for anybody else, that shit is just like you can't put value to that.
Right.
She got the game exactly. So I was like, all right, ma, I can talk to you about certain things, but it wasn't always like that. I feel like as I got older, I want to say like maybe like 4, 5, 6 years ago is when I started feeling more open at and
Oh, because it's a fairly recent thing.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy. I wasn't doing this from like my teenage years. I wasn't doing that bad. It was as I moved out and all that shit. But because I had that kind of relationship with my mother, this religion shit is the exact same way. Like she would never look at it in a way where she would want to try to influence what I do with my life, predicated off of that. My mom, she's not even that type. So.
Yeah, my mom just gonna hold me to the camp for a fat bitch home. I could never, mom. You know, I never disgrace his family like that. Shit, that was an ugly joke.
Yo, why you be killing them, bro?
Because I hold myself to a high standard. I'm not gonna play my mom out like that.
Why is she pretty?
But is she a pretty big joint? Thick joint. Like what Lou Ratchet say? What he say? Instagram. Like, what he say?
He's a silicone tight. You think it's still he's a silicone? But no, I like to hold myself to a standard. I'm not bringing home no fat broad. I'm not bringing home no bitch that look like she got hit in the face with a waffle iron 17 times with the 23 try.
Now that I'm not doing, but the fact, I mean, it depends on what's fat. Like,
why do we do that?
Because no, Mike did it before. He said it before. It's like it depends on. It depends.
Mike was also lying.
No, but what he said was true. It's the bill, like the sloppy.
No, I get what you're saying, but Mike was also lying.
lying.
Because he came here 2 weeks later like,
did. Right.
he was right. I would never fuck with a fat bitch. Them bitches is just too big for me. And I don't really like bitches that's built like, General Electric washing machine. So,
Don't believe that man. Don't believe that man.
yeah. You know it's on camera, right? You know it's on the pre-show. Yeah.
So,
Ladies,
who released him yet?
ladies and gentlemen, Jesus, these motherfuckers. This is the 13th, right? Yeah, 13th installment.
Please don't you ever associate this podcast with Paul George again. This is
The Paul George episode.
Shit.
I'm
episode.
gonna name it The Sex.
It's a couple things this joint can be named for real.
Bro, The Sex. You The Sex?
The sex, you definitely did say that.
The Sex. You said it like 3 other times. The Sex.
The sex, bro.
Cause he a sex nigga, he said it.
Word, I'm a sex nigga. But
Never heard in my life.
please subscribe, like, comment, share.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple,
Yes, sir.
Breaker,
Yes, sir.
Google
What else?
Podcast.
What else?
I think we
That's
ran
about
through them. We got some surprises coming for y'all. We're not gonna say too much.
Extra
just yet.
content on the side, you
Extra
know what I mean?
extra content.
Alert button. Y'all gonna fuck with it too. It's gonna be real good. You know what I mean? We doing what we
You
can.
know we went out there and did our thing.
Yeah, get our name out there. You know what I mean? Do a little bit of collab work. It's important because we want to extend this. We want to, you know what I mean?
Hey yo.
Here we go. Here we go. I give you that. I give you that.
I don't want to extend nothing.
Whoa.
What are you talking about?
Y'all want to extend the pod?
I don't want to stand nothing with them big guys.
So you don't want to extend the pod?
I don't want
so if
to-
a nigga came up to you with $100 million contract, like, I need y'all to extend this.
I'll be like,
bro,
hey,
you gotta-
yo! Yeah!
We have new things in the work coming, and we've been reaching out to people and talking to people, and we've been making things work.
Yes. Get the name out there, and we should. So y'all gonna see some extra content. We want to continue to flood y'all with content because we do know y'all enjoy it. We want to be able to, you know what I mean, get ourselves on different platforms, showcase what we got. Y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love it. So, like I said, 13th installment of the Problematic Gentleman Podcast. Have a good night.
You bitch.